Yes, we're now live everywhere. So good morning, everybody. How are you this morning? It's a beautiful sunny day here again in Dalbeattie, and we've had an amazing weekend. I've done my second retreat this weekend, and the sun was shining, and we've had some amazing ladies here. It's just such a joy to be working with such awesome ladies, and I've sent another couple of ladies out with a big idea and the confidence to go for it. And when I mean big, I mean big lottery funding idea, to make use of an idea that they already had. So I'll never take the credit for people coming to me with ideas and then us working on those ideas, because that's very different to me helping people come up with something from scratch. I do both, but this weekend wasn't about that. It was about consolidating what was already there and working it into a plan that can be grown and scaled. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson. I am the Creative Genius Consultant, and I help creative women just like you to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm on a mission to change the wealth in the creative space and bring abundance to those that are struggling currently and really need to bring change into their business. If you're not already in my group on Facebook, do come over. You are very, very welcome. If you're not on TikTok, following me on TikTok, do that, because there will be lots of tips coming your way about how to build your creative business. So let's start with a quick review and debrief, because I think one of the things that's really important in business is to look at what you've done, review it, learn from it, and almost debrief yourself. So last week I was on Four in a Bed. I went on Four in a Bed knowing that I couldn't win it, because I have a shared bathroom on my top floor. That bathroom is a shared bathroom because I do retreats with just 3 women who, it's not a space that's difficult for them. It's a beautiful, big luxury bathroom. And that my choice was to put in that bathroom or 2 small en suites, which I chose to put the bathroom in. That was my choice. I have to live with it. I also get cycling parties and families, so it's never an issue. So the debrief from Four in a Bed was, what do I need to change based on the feedback that I received from those other business owners? Because if we don't allow ourselves to learn from other people, we are holding ourselves back in our own business. So I looked at all of their feedback and I went and took action where I could for now, and put some plans in place for the longer term. That's really important when you're in business. You can never assume you know everything or stay stagnant. So that's my kind of debrief from Four in a Bed. Obviously, the other debrief is, if you are going to put yourself out there in the media, in the press, on radio, and particularly on TV, expect to be loved and hated. And expect a backlash for no matter what things you say. Good morning, Elaine, in the group, because it's going to happen. So there's a couple of Four in a Bed fan groups, and that's absolutely fine. They're entitled to be there. And the fan groups are for people to be able to talk about the program if they're fans of it. There's fan groups for everything. And within that, then they're saying what they think based on those few short clips during that week. Now, people don't know you after a week on TV, so they're going to make assumptions. You've got to be able to accept that feedback, because some of it is going to be horrific. I've had 5 emails this morning just telling me I'm a dickhead. Telling me that I'm too picky, telling me I should have put 2 bathrooms on the top floor, 2 little tiny en suites on the top floor instead of a large bathroom. So these people think they know your business and think they know your clientele and your customers, and they think from what they've seen that they've got a correct opinion on you. And you've got to have thick enough skin to be able to brush that off. That's so important in business. You've got to be able to just let that wash over you, because you cannot, it's impossible. You cannot please everyone. You cannot ever please everyone. There'll be some people who hate you instantly, who love you instantly, or who form an opinion of you based on a very short interaction. And we can all appear one way or the other. I think that's the thing. You need to be thick-skinned and not take it personally. Absolutely, Elaine. And that goes for any feedback or any comments that you receive through social media. There are keyboard warriors out there who are just, you've got to ask the question, haven't you? Have these people got nothing better to do with their lives than to watch a program or to see you in the press or to listen to you on the radio and have an opinion on you? It happens to celebrities all the time, footballers, that's part of their job, to be able to brush that off. Sometimes there's feedback hidden in there, and you've got to be able to not only take it on the chin and brush it off, but really think about, is there something in there that I could change for the better? And I ask that with every interaction, because believe me, none of us are perfect. We get things wrong all the time, but we also get things right all the time. And life is a balance of, the power of editing, someone has just said. The power of editing. It's never actually true to life, is it, when it's on the telly? And you've just got to accept that. And that's why people, they do it. They actually do it to get that reaction from you. So don't worry about anything that is ever said about you, because it's a snapshot of somebody's opinion. I'm just leaning over all the time to decline all the people who want to join me live on TikTok, because that's not going to happen. So don't bother pressing the button if you're on TikTok and watching, because you're not getting in. Okay, so that kind of was 4 in a bed. We took the feedback, did what we could with it instantly, looked at the long-term plans to see if we could tweak things a little bit, and I've moved on. They can say what they want. They can send me emails every day. I'll just delete them. I don't reply to them. I haven't got time or inclination to do that. I just delete them. There's nothing in there that's constructive. So I'm not interested in what they've got to say. So that's important for you in business. And that I do want to talk about these things, because I don't think people do talk about this, and it will happen to you along the way. Sometimes somebody may say to you, oh God, I'm not paying that for that painting, or oh God, that's too expensive. And you will feel shit, basically. That's how it's going to make you feel, unless you can brush it off and know your worth. And there's one thing I know, and that is my worth. And it doesn't matter. I've done things my way. The other guys have done things their way that were on 4 in a bed with me, and their places were great. But I was asked to go in as a professional and check it like I checked my own place. So I did what I was asked to do, and that obviously makes better TV. I like to follow instructions when I'm giving them. Some people are just going on with their own agenda, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So let's talk about access to work, all right, because this is a really emotive subject at the minute as well. And I want to talk about access to work grant funding. So if you don't know what access to work is, it's a fund that is available to you, whether you're employed or self-employed, if you have any disabilities, so mental illness, neurodivergence, things like, fibromyalgia, cancer, things like that, anything that is causing you difficulties in being able to work or get back into work, there is a grant fund available. You've heard me talking about it before, but there's been massive changes. Basically, they blew their budget last year because people actually, there was only at the beginning of last year, there was about 1% of the people that are entitled to apply for it that had applied for access to work. So the government were like, yeah, we've got this fund for people with disabilities. Nobody knows about it. So great. We've got this huge budget sitting there and nobody's taking advantage of it. We've got a little bit of spare cash. Then we started talking about it on social media, and NeuroBoost and Rachel Beatty were really loud about it. And so they should be, talking about how you need to, if you are struggling in your business, because, and let's look at neurodivergence. If you are neurodivergent, you are going to be sitting at your desk with maybe a diary or a spreadsheet in front of you with a plan on it, and you're going to go, I don't feel like doing that. And the ideas will start coming to you. You'll be distracted and do something else. You'll be distracted from the something else that you do to go and do something else. You'll then be distracted from that. You'll then forget what you were originally going to do and how that impacts your business, and you're all over the place. Now, this doesn't apply to everybody. Please don't take offense at what I'm saying. I'm giving you a typical example of what I've seen in neurodivergent. When that happens, you feel like you are stupid. You feel like you're not as good as anybody else. You feel like you can't do this, and you feel like giving up. So imagine having somebody that can, a support worker, to keep you on track, to do the things that are important in your business, and to allow you to do the things you're really great at. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? And lots of people applied for that last year and got lots of funding. And then they went, oh shit, people know about this now and they're applying for it and they're entitled to it and they've been given it. What happens if this keeps happening? We're going to blow our access to work budget and we won't have any money in the system. So what they've done is clamped down when you are applying for access to work. And I mean clamped down. They've basically brought in a load of Rottweilers to be on the phone. And sue me if you like access to work, but that's what I'm experiencing when I'm trying to fight for clients at the moment. They're almost immovable. And they're saying, well, you can't have this. You're not getting this. It's ridiculous at the moment. And that's coming back on people that have tried to help. So what I'm going to say to you here is access to work is now a fund that you can still apply for. Nothing's changed. The eligibility hasn't changed, but your chances of getting it on your own are a lot harder. And I mean a lot harder. And the chances of somebody having to fight for you to get that fund is far greater. Therefore, you need to go in with your eyes wide open. And if you're going to apply for access to work, you need to get some help and advice. That help and advice does not come free. Let's get the boundaries in place here. If you want my help in making your application, I might not charge you initially, but we will agree a charge from your fund when you are awarded it. And that goes the same for anybody that helps you. There needs to be a fee for helping. And don't see it as a fee, see it as an investment, because you're more likely to get your award if you get some help. However, there are no guarantees that you will get it. So even if you get somebody to help you, there's no guarantees that you're going to get the grant fund. Okay, so if that happens, you're still going to have a bill to pay. Be aware of that, because you cannot expect people to work for nothing when you are doing something of this level of expertise. So that's the first thing. Plus, because the parameters have changed and it's harder to get now, if you do it on your own and you don't get it and you get this Rottweiler at the end of the phone and you don't know how to deal with them, then you're less likely to get the grant funding. Hope I'm making myself clear here. Just let me know. If you get it right and you really need this help because you're not coping in your business and you're not growing your business and you are struggling in your small business to make any strides forward because you really need support. And that support can be, and this is what you can apply for, okay? You can apply for coping strategies. So if you're neurodivergent, if you've got mental health issues, a coach that can help you with coping strategies. You can apply for business coaching. So somebody to help you in your business to get systems and procedures in place. You can apply for a support worker to do some of the jobs that you are really struggling with, but you have got to be so specific in what you say and what you ask for. So what I'm planning to do in the next couple of weeks is put a new training together, because they've even changed the application form. So from my original free training that I did for Access to Work, there's been changes to the application form as well as the process. It's pretty much still the same process. It's just there's been some changes and some changes in wording on how you need to word things in order to get this grant fund. And, this is what the government does. The goalposts have moved, and it was because so many people applied for it all at once. Now, if you are in business doing the same, you can understand it from the government's perspective. They have budgets to manage as well. But what always happens here is the people who need it most get squeezed out. Particularly, and I'll go back to my description of people that are struggling with neurodivergence and mental health problems, it can actually trigger a meltdown. It can trigger a period of depression if you are being challenged on the things that you struggle with and told that you can't have the money because you're not bad enough or things are not dire enough for you, when you know how badly you're struggling, but you struggle to communicate that to somebody. And you don't like conflict or confrontation because of your conditions, or you've got cancer and you're just too bloody tired to be dealing with someone who's challenging. So the moral of the story here from today is there are going to be difficulties along the way in business. And two of the ladies, the amazing ladies that came to my retreat this weekend, had experienced that. But there's always a solution. There's a solution to you being able to deal with negative feedback and comments, and that's really to ignore it and let it wash over you and not take it personally. There's a solution to you being able to get funding from the government to help you in your business, and that's to get the right help and be prepared to pay for it. Don't expect anything for nothing. If you want business coaching, expect to pay for it. If you want counseling, expect to pay for it. If you need something, you're going to have to pay for it. We're in a society now where the free support from the government via the NHS for mental health on neurodivergence just isn't there. And if you know about these things and you want to apply for them, you're probably going to have to pay to get the people that are going to help you to get what you deserve. But take a deep breath and think about that just for a minute. What's the benefit of that investment? There's a huge benefit to that investment. And you can't expect people to work for hours and hours and hours for nothing trying to get you where you need to get to. So be prepared to invest if you are ready to apply for Access to Work or funding, or be prepared to invest. If you're going to go and in the press or the media, be prepared for the backlash from that. So it was kind of a moral of the story live this morning, in that I want you to be prepared for the challenges that you're going to come up against, no matter what it is you are doing in your business. Because today we have talked about grant funding and we have talked about media, with two examples, and I could give you examples with Access to Work at the moment of clients that I'm having to fight for. So I have one client who's been given coaching money at £205 an hour, and another client who's been offered £75 an hour. Same application, same coaching, different hourly rates. That's differences and inequalities. It needs to be challenged, but you've got to do it in the right way. And you need to know, what to ask for and how to challenge it back. So I want you to think about all of that. I will let you know when my new training on Access to Work is coming out. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, I can't apply for that. I can't apply for an Access to Work grant. If you have a mental health condition that impacts your ability to work in any way, you can apply. If you have autism, ADHD, ADD, Asperger's, although it's not called that anymore, any spectrum disorder, neurodivergence that causes you to struggle with your organization and planning and with your business in general, with your coping strategies, then you can apply. If you've got a broken leg and you can't work because of that, you can apply for access to work funding. If you've got a disease like cancer or diabetes or whatever, you can apply for funding to help you in your workplace. Do not think that you can't apply, but also do not think it's easy, because it's not. They are tight at the moment because there has been money taken away from people with disabilities. So there's a link in this live. There isn't on TikTok. You need to go to my website or DM me and I'll send you the link. But there's a link in the descriptor of this live everywhere else that you can book a free 15-minute call with me to discuss your access to work application if you've already made one, that you want to apply for access to work, to check your eligibility and see if it's likely. If you need help, any of those things, you can book a free 15-minute call with me. That's the only free bit you get. After that, there is a charge for my time, because I don't work for nothing. I'm sure none of you do. That's just a reasonable request. So I hope that's given you some insights today. Think about what I've said and think about where that may impact you. But I want to leave by saying there are so many keyboard warriors out there, and however you show up on a daily basis, whatever I look like or say today is going to anger some people and going to give other people hope. There's always this two-way thing of when you show up. And I want you to remember that whatever is said when you show up is a snapshot comment. We all judge. We do it every single day. You'll be walking down the street and see someone with weird green hair and tattoos all over them, and you might judge them. Be honest, you might judge them. It's going to happen to you. Putting yourself out there, you're going to get judged. Don't worry about that either. Go out there, ask for what you're entitled to, stand strong in your power, and know that you're doing your very, very best to get where you need to get to. But sometimes you need support and you need someone to come in and say, you can do this, let me show you. Have an awesome week. Don't feel frustrated. Don't feel like you're on your own. I can't speak. On your own. Get in touch. Ask me questions. If you're in my group, Creative Genius Corner, ask questions. I'm always happy to answer them when I can. All right. Have an awesome week. I'll see you the same time next week with another topic. Bye for now. Right.